Welcome to ground control. Time for another test flight with the XK A160 J3 Skylark Cub. I have installed 2mm carbon rod for wing spars, so no more wing flexing for this guy. I think that's also going to help out the stall characteristics of this plane. I think it should make them even more forgiving than it is with the wing cuffs. And as you saw in the last test flight session, it's the stalls are pretty much a non-issue now as far as this plane goes. But I also think it will help provide additional lift when these wings aren't flexing and unloading. So we'll take it out and we'll perform a test flight on it, make sure that it didn't create any adverse conditions with the wing cups. We'll test the stall characteristics of it again, and I will see you out at the field. Alright, another test flight on the XK J3 Skylark Cub, this time with wing cups and wing spars. Wind's about 3 to 5 right now, so let's get it in the air. So far, so good. That was a pretty slow turn, quite a bit of rudder. Alright, so let's bring it back around, do another circuit, and then we will test the stall. And this is a going downwind. There it is, that's the stall. Alright, stall. That's it. That was the stall. Now that I'm learning, the stall characteristics of this plane now with the wing cuffs and now with the wing spars, I'm not having to gain so much altitude to test the stall capability. This is downwind again. That's it, that's the stall. Yeah, a little wind up there, don't we? All right, across the sun. Let's add a little rudder. Get a little wing wag out of it, going too slowly. Adding rudder. Try another stall. That's it. That's the stall. I'm getting a little bit of dipping the wing to the left, and that could be because one thing I was worried about with the wing cups was not getting them symmetrical from wing to wing, and so that might be causing that, or it just may be torque roll from the motor. Let's bring it back around crosswind and do a stall and see if it still rotates to the left. Alright, there's the stall. There's the stall. Yeah, I think that's what it is. I think it's the torque of the motor, because when I have the wind to the left side of it, it just glides. Let's see if we can bring it down some.
So yeah, I think I lost it in the sun. I think that has. I think that's helped the slow flight capability of the plane too. I'm putting in rudder. Putting in rudder. And it looks like it's feeling a little more wind than I am on the ground. Rudder, rudder, rudder. Rudder, rudder, rudder. That's not bad for slow flight. A lot of rudder there. You want to throttle it up a little bit in the turn. See the wing wag there? I was just about on the verge of stalling there. I'm pretty happy with it. And there's my timer going off. That was a pretty tight rudder turn there into the wind. There's a pretty tight rudder turn coming downwind. You see the wing wag. It'll let you know when it's ready to stall now. It's not just, out of the blue, no warning, dip a wing, spiral down. Alright, so let's bring it around another circuit and bring it in for a landing. But I'm pretty happy with it. Gliding. That was fun. Yeah, so I really think that the wing spars also helped, without having all that wing flex. I think that the wing spars stiffening up the wing also helped in that regard. And like I said, it will give you a warning. Now, when it's on the verge of stalling, you'll get a wing wag out of it, so you'll know you're going too slow. And 2 or 3 of those turns that I performed, I was putting in quite a bit of rudder, and I was going fairly slow, and no tip stall. So I'll see you back at the HQ.
Okay, so I was pretty impressed with the results. Both with the wing cuffs and also with the wing spars. I like the fact that these wings are no longer flexing the way they were, and stiffening up the wings also took a lot of that play out of the struts. The struts are fairly taut now, which is the way they should be, because the wing spars are not allowing the wings to flex downward when it's sitting still, and nor is it able to flex upward when it's in flight. So I think that's worked out really well. It's not the prettiest work I've ever done on wing spars. I just used hot glue. I just used an X-Acto blade and some hot glue, and I don't know the exact length of the wing spar, but I went all the way from where the inboard section of the wing meets the fuselage all the way out to, I would say about 20 millimeters of the wing tip, the wing edge on the wing tip. And because you've got the struts and you've got the wire for the servos, you got the servo, I did decide to put it on the back side of the wing. And I kind of like having it there because it also prevents the wing from flexing from the aileron movement. So I know that the ailerons are going to be good and solid as well. So I'm happy with how the plane is flying. I'm happy with how it's handling. I think the slow flight capability on the plane, even though I think it has fairly heavy wing loading for a plane this size. So I think it has pretty good slow flight capability for the weight and the size of the plane. I can bring it in for a landing now, just gliding it in about the last 30 or 40 meters, you know, and it's real easy to set down. Now I don't always set it down easy, but that's just pilot error. It'll glide right in and set down nice and soft. So I'm real happy with that. I think at this point I'm happy enough with the way the plane is performing that I think I'm going to go ahead and replace the gyro receiver brick in the plane and either put in a gyro receiver that has full manual mode, or just put in a standard receiver and go manual mode all the time. I haven't decided yet. I'll have to check the weight between the two as well, because I want to keep the plane as light as possible. Once I do that, I haven't decided yet if I'm going to go ahead and replace the motor. I think this motor for this plane is pretty weak, in my opinion. It could be the prop. You know, it's a 25-inch wingspan, so if it had been me, I would have put a 6-inch prop on it instead of a 5-inch prop. And it's also a very flexible prop, so I think putting maybe a 1306 or a 1407 motor on it with a 6-inch 6x3 prop, I think will definitely help the slow flight capability, because you'll have a much larger cone of air going underneath the wings. And I think with either one of those motors, I'm going to have quite a bit more power than the stock motor has. I can't remember, I think it's a 1404, 1406. But you know, with this proprietary prop on here, this 5-inch prop, I think the motor and the plane is under propped. That's what I think. I think it needs a bigger prop. So I may go ahead and do that at the same time. It just depends on how much time I have. You know, we're coming up on the holidays, and so it's really hard for me to set aside time for the hobby stuff. But I will definitely have it in manual mode the next time I take it out. I may have a different motor and prop on here too, time permitting. So stay tuned. I think this is going to be an awesome little aerobatic bush plane when I make the next 2 changes to it. So thanks for watching, and I will see you in the air.